Madam Dr. Rajeshwari, Dean and Care of Group of Institute, Hyderabad. And also she is our TNA leader in state level. And Ms. Beena Malhotra from JIPMER and New Delhi. And Ms. Saini, Secretary, TNA Delhi branch. Ms. Bindu, Ms. Dolma, and all EC member of TNA Delhi branch, faculty, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to everyone. And on behalf of TNA Delhi branch and TNA headquarters, I welcome you all for the 12th Empower Nurses to Empower Nurses webinar, jointly organized by TNA Delhi branch and TNA headquarters. And really, I would like to welcome our Madam P. Evelyn Kannan, Secretary General TNA. With all India, we know about her dedication and leadership quality, which have developed our system in nursing today, what we are existing through TNA. This all her hard work and her vision. And it's a very proud and privileged moment for everybody, including me, because when I talk about her, I feel so much, enthusiastic. And we are, as I am the TNA leader at state level, I perceived and learned a lot from how to be project as a leader, to work for the visionary way to bring up the profession change. It is a very proud moment for me to express about her, and I welcome you, madam, for this for the today webinar. We are expecting you to. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you to empower ourselves. And again, I would like to welcome the two eminent speakers, and one speaker, Dr. Rajeshwari madam. I think everyone know about her. She is one of our national EC member. And her topic also more attractive today, but usually we know that that topic is we expected so far their experiences and the work area. When I come to know her topic, really it was very interesting, because we always think about the politics is the word, that only wrong word. No, it is a very right word, and especially in this forum she is going to talk, and that make to change of the mind of the people, and especially young leaders to learn the politics, to influence and get the things. Today, everyone realize that we are not able to get so many rights, so many things when other professionals they're getting, because we are not understanding exactly the political system of India. And being a leader tomorrow, are going to be the leader of young professional, to understand the politics and how to to influence the people, the system, and the government and the policy maker, and bring the things to for nurses and make the changes and get the system for India, especially for nurses, Indian nurses. That is our huge expectation. I think this her talk going to make the vision, or maybe eye-opening for everyone. And again, Florence Nightingale awardee, Beena Malhotra, have very good experience with her for last 7-8 years. She's a neuro-based nurse, and she's also going to talk about her vision and all the things which is going to be. Welcome you, both of you, madam. And especially, I'm always welcome and be proud with my team and Saini, secretary, all really this. So today we reached 12th webinar. That is not easy. We bring the people across the India, and with support of TNA headquarters. And her every role from our secretary Saini, and Bindu, education coordinator, EC member, and Dolma, service side, all, and including all other EC member, their contribution. I'm very happy for that. That I welcome you all. And again, without participant, nothing can be happen. And their interest showing so far, this all the 12 webinar, it's really to understand that this program is need of the hour. Welcome you all once again. And I just to give you one small concept of empower nurse to empower nurse. This is not just a webinar. This is the empowerment sessions. And this session, they are all speakers. They are sharing their vision, their their work, what they are doing, that make you to sensitize yourself, because they are self-motivator. All of them are self-motivator. They motivate themselves and motivating others. So this session, it's not only carrying your scientific knowledge, this session to make you yourself to, proud being a nurse. You all the day, every day you're proving with your patient care. There's no one, less for in the profession, because everyone contributing their, with their hand, with their brain, and, with the heart. This is no doubt about it. But still, how you make the differences, again, I repeat the word, because the difference is we are to excel ourselves, to use the maximum potential. That is what missing out in nursing, because of your frustration, because of your, you feel that there is no career, there is no scope, we want to go to abroad. This type to be overcome, because We want to preserve the Indian nurses, highly potential nurses in India. That's going to make that empowerment of the nursing in India. That's what we wanted from TNA to do this program, because TNA make a lot of way for nurses to come out. We want to sensitize, motivate the nurses. This is overall outcome which you want to achieve it. With that, I conclude that welcome, and again, once again, welcome you all. And I'm including Madam Evelyn Kannan. And so over to Madam to give address from your side. Thank you, Madam. Thank you very much.
Very good afternoon. It is my honor again and privilege to be part of this session. And I congratulate and thank the organizers, especially the TNI Delhi State Branch, the president of the TNA Delhi State Branch, Dr. Gopi Chandran, and Mrs. And Secretary of the branch, Mrs. Shaini Chako, and coordinator, Mrs. And Mrs. Dolma, and all the executive members of the TNA Delhi State Branch. I congratulate you for organizing this 12th session on empowerment. Because morning I was addressing one session and about the empowerment and networking and the challenges. And now we are talking about the politics in nursing. I always say that politics is not cup of my tea. And this is, I need to keep myself away. But I was just reading an article which was published in 2008 in the Nursing Journal of India. Politics in nursing is very, very essential for every nurses. Because we as a nurses are not influencing some other's decision, and we could not be able to reach up to this level. Because the 9 nurses, those who had a vision to start this association in 1908, they thought we need to advocate, we need to change, we need to bring the system of formal education in India. So this, with that vision, they came they established. Now, as a part of each one of us here, we are sitting here, and I need to influence myself, number one. Because if I'm not empowering, or if I'm not influencing, if I'm not realizing that I am the important person in nursing, I can make a change. I can influence someone else. So that kind of attitude, every nurse, we have a 5 lakhs member, and we have almost 27 lakhs as a member of this, that means a nurses, we are nurses, registered nurses. And if everyone influences somebody, we can make a great changes in this scenario. Because we ourselves, all these years, many times we are suppressing ourselves, and we are under the medical fraternity many times. And now this is the right time for us to make a change. Because first politics in nursing, which was I think Florence Nightingale, she could be able to influence the British government. She could be able to allocate the fund for them, and she could be able to make the environment to get a change. Because one lady made an entire change in the entire nursing scenario. Here, let us promise ourselves, let us feel proud. Wow, I am a nurse. Number one, we need to talk about our own rights to everyone. So when we make this change in me, I think definitely I can make a change in somebody's life. And don't run away the topic of the politics in nursing. Very often we keep hearing that, very often we keep saying that I am out of this politics. I cannot enter in. We need not to enter into different kind of politics, but the politics which is a process, it's only one-day process. Because 113 years, we could be able to bring little bit of changes. Now the nursing scenario is completely in each one of our hand. So we can take a lead, we can take a action on this, and let us work on that. And I hope definitely the two eminent speakers, which they are going to talk about politics in nursing and this clinical, both is very important. Let us empower ourselves, let us learn something. Not only we should be hearer and we should be doer. So whatever we are learning today, let us take a simple step. We cannot sit in the parliament and talk about the Rajya Sabha, because since so many years, we have been asking the one seat in the Rajya Sabha for the nurses, but still today we could not be able to achieve. I think when more nurses are going to come out with that, though the enthusiasm and decision, hope in future, definitely one of us or one of our nursing personnel will be sitting in the Rajya Sabha and demanding for our rights. The days are not so far. I always have a dream. And when I went to Sweden, I could see the 14 nurses were in the parliament, nurses and midwives. They are taking the decision. They are taking anything decision related to the nursing and nursing education, nursing practice, nursing research, everything done by the 14 MPs who are sitting in the parliament making a decision. Here we are struggling for last 113 years. One nurse should be in the Rajya Sabha. Why that is not happening? Because of the lack of membership. I really challenge, I take a challenge. I also want you also to take a challenge. We have currently 5 lakhs member. Let us in 1 year make it the 10 lakhs member. So definitely we will be in the parliament in coming days to raise the voices for the nurses in India. The days are not so far. You all are having potential. Let us work on our own potential. Feel proud. Wow, I'm a nurse. Let us do what we supposed to. What are the things? So let us empower ourselves. Let us have a wide range of networking. Let us face the challenges. Because every day we are facing a challenge. Challenges are there, but let us come across the challenges. Definitely many nurses will be sitting in the parliament in coming. So the 2 session will be taking you and empowering you and making you to be very, very energetic and enthusiastically. The nurses in politics is a very important. Let us not keep us away from the politics. Let us keep inside so that we can able to win over whatever the decisions we can making. The decision authority as a nurse, I can influence them to take a right kind of decision for the nursing and the nursing education, nursing that means entire scenario in the country. And once again, I take this opportunity to thank the TNA Delhi State Branch for giving this wonderful opportunity to part of it. And I'm sure that hours of the classes will be really empowering you with the how we as a nurses can influence that means be in part of the politics in nursing, as well as in clinical areas which you are going to learn. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great time ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving the special address and for giving us the challenge. We uptake the challenge and we promise you to increase the membership, but not to 5 lakhs, but we will increase the membership. Okay, thank you, ma'am, once again. Very good morning, good afternoon to one and all present in the Zoom platform. I bring greetings to you from TNI Delhi State Branch, and it's my privilege and honor to introduce our eminent speaker, Dr. Muppidi Rajeshwari. I would like Prashant to share the screen. Let me see, available there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Dr. Muppidi Rajeshwari, she has done her PhD in nursing as well as MBA in healthcare administration. And madam is currently working as the Dean in Care Educational Foundation, Hyderabad. To brief about madam's experience and achievement. Madam has a professional experience in teaching and research and in clinical practice of over 30 years. She's an expert and resource person in national and international forums. Madam has held reputed position in various educational boards and committees. Madam is currently holding the post of president in TNI Telangana State Branch since 2019 of November. And she's a CNE committee member in Telangana State Nursing and Midwife Council. Madam has organized and conducted state-level TNI conferences. Madam has published research papers in national and international index journals and presented papers in national and international forums. The awards and honors received by ma'am: Best Teacher Award by AIMSR in 2019 and Best Academic Award by Nursing Officers Association in 2018. Now I request and welcome Dr. Muppidi Rajeshwari, ma'am, to take the session on politics and nursing. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Shaini, for your introduction. And yeah. So hello, namaste, good afternoon, and thank you, Shaini. And it's my great privilege, to be amongst all of you today. and virtually, and also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Roy and team of the National TNA and Dr. Gopi and team of Delhi TNA for giving me this opportunity. One of the member, like it's a wonderful chance for me as a speaker for this 12th webinar of the series of Empower Nurses to Empower Nurses. When Dr. Gopi called me and asking, and he told about the topic, empowering empower nurses to empower nursing. So I was thinking, what shall I speak? Then at one moment, I just remembered my actual experience when I went for canvassing in different hospitals, to contest as an MLC. Then when I went there, most of the senior nurses, they were telling it's really a great, good, you have taken up this one. I mean, coming forward is the important step, then winning. That is what everybody was telling. And then I thought, okay, let me share my own experience and a little bit about this, politics. I just thought, and I have taken up this topic. So let me share my. Yeah. Okay, politics. When we talk about politics, its broadest sense and is the activity through which people make, preserve.
Excuse me.
Yes,
ma'am, your slide is just started sharing. It's not visible now.
But I can see now.
Bindu ma'am?
No, ma'am. Actually, your slide is not visible.
Yeah, I think so. Poor internet, I think so, because it's a started screening share, but it's not visible.
But the slide is not visible.
Yeah, ma'am, do you want the headquarters to do it?
Yeah, do it.
Prashantji, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Please please share the slide.
No, the other slide. Prashant, the other slide. Politics and nursing.
కొంచెం తర్వాత అలాగే వర్క్.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this.
So I think you have to.
You can just share next. Prashant will operate for you.
Okay, next. Yeah. So when we talk about politics, I think whatever I wanted to speak today with you all, most of the content has been covered already by Evelyn Madam in her introduction itself. So politics, really, when we hear about the politics, we don't want to listen. Why we have to take up this politics, and it's not our field, what we nurses will think. But politics, it is broadest sense and is the activity through which people preserve and amend the general rules under which they live. And politics thus inextricably linked to the phenomenon of conflict and cooperation. Next. So politics, it's a process by which one influences the decision of others, and experts control over the situation and events. Even in our own areas, we are influencing the people by making decisions. We are talking to our people, wherever we are working, in the working area itself, we are talking to our managers, our in charges, or our management, and we are telling our decisions and make them understand. So this is what influencing the people, the decision makers. So politics is all about the exercise of influence. When we talk about politics, there is power in politics, which is going to influence the people. Next. So where we are going to influence this political, which is going to, the areas where it is going to influence, like affecting the development of institutional policy, community and professional organizations, activities in local boards, participating in community committees, involvement in campaign, letter writing, voting, in government and workplace. See, we nurses are more in number. 2020 WHO declared year of nurse midwife. By keeping in mind our statistics, we are more than 50% when it comes to the healthcare providers. We are more, but still we are going at the back of others. We cannot open up. We are not raising our voice for our rights. We have to stand in front of others to get our things done. So there are, when we are having this political influence, we can voice out, we can rise, we can talk to the people and get our things done. And we are the more sufferers in complete, I think, wherever we take up, the world, nursing is the more sufferers. When it comes to the other professions and all, they are getting their things done. But when it is a nursing problem, it is taking time. People has to understand. They are not able to understand our problems. Next slide. So historically, when we see, we think that nurses, it's only act as a patient advocate. We are only caregivers. We are only handling the patient. Why we need politics? So many nurses feel that becoming involved in politics would conflict with their image and ethical principles. Maybe we have to, the impression what we have is the most of the people will think that politicians, they will have two tongues, or what they tell may not be doing, something like that. So in that way, when we nurses will feel that maybe we cannot, because we will work on code of conduct and ethics and all. So we feel that maybe our image will spoil. So that is what our first, when we talk about politics, it comes into our mind. And then we will go back. We will not come forward to the political side. Next slide. So as Evelyn Madam said, the first foremost Florence Nightingale, she is the political activism. She did political activism. She is a perfect political nurse. She understood how to influence the British Parliament to advocate funds to reform British military hospital and fairly improve health and sanitary conditions of the troops. When she was working with during Crimean War, she could make the people to understand. She influenced. So there she used the principles and the techniques of politics. She used that power of politics, which made her to influence the British Parliament. Next slide, please. So when we talk about empowerment, empowerment can describe as to give power and authority to enable and permit. Empowerment ensures a change in attitudes towards the professional setting, in the sense that people begin to realize that they have accountability, commitment, and the participation in the organization, as well as acceptance of responsibility. So empowerment, we have to empower. We are talking empowerment, but we are not able to take it up. We are not able to come forward. The acceptance of responsibility is very much important. As I said in the beginning, people said, it's good you have come out. That is the thing we have to praise. We have to appreciate from you. It is not that you will win or you will lose it. So because that is my first step to hold, go for the election. I never expected that I will win, but we can make a change when we accept the responsibility, when we all nurses come forward. think that yes, we can do it. We are accountable. We have that commitment. We are doing so many things. Why can't we do this also? That acceptance has to come from us. So with empowerment, we are going to change our attitudes towards our professional settings. Next slide. So empowerment comes from within, and it's a way of thinking how I think. Why I have to take up this? People, when I wanted for it, people said, ma'am, can you, because that is the time of my retirement. I was working with Apollo, and 58 years is the retirement in our Telangana government that time. So Apollo also follows the same thing. They said, I have to go for retirement. Then I thought, okay, I think all these years I was working for the institution, for the students' sake. Let me work for the profession, because as a president of TNA, previously also I was the joint secretary in TNA. I was going with the representations to the problems to the people, ministers, but we are not able to solve those things. Then I thought, okay, if somebody from nursing comes directly to the politics, I think we can do the thing. So that empowerment has to come from within us. And it's a way of thinking. We have to think it. The change, we have to make some change. And it calls for inner strengths and beliefs in oneself. And for only then we believe that we have something and we can give it to others. When we know that that we have that power or that strength in us, that is the time we will make a move to give it to others. If I am not confident that I have something, or if I don't know, if I won't feel that I have that power, I will not take a move. So with empowerment, we will have the power and we will know that we are having something. We are not different from others. God has created us in the same way, like how the male, female, whatever caste, creed, everything. We're all same. From this one only, people are going in the politics. They did not come from directly from heaven or somewhere, na? God did not created politicians separately. They are also one from our group only. So that has to be there, that we have to believe that I have that power. I can do it. Why I have to keep myself silent? So that made me to come out. And empowerment is not about having power over another. It is about making difference. Yes. I cannot just say that I have power. I am empowered and I have power and I can show it on others. It is not like that. I just has to have a big picture or a dream that I have to do something different. So that with empowerment only, we will get that thinking. And we nurses must recognize that in order to improve lots of participations, the community, and to maintain professional freedom and standards, they must ensure that we have to raise our voice. First of all, we should be empowered with our knowledge. We should empowered with the skills, what is needed. When we have the knowledge and skills, automatically we can raise our voice. So that is more important. We have to be more, we have to ensure that a powerful political voice is based on our knowledge and skills. When we are not having the knowledge and skills, automatically we cannot come forward. That is, so we have to empower with the knowledge and skills. Basing on that, we can move forward. Next slide, please. What is this? Some lines are coming on the screen. So why nurses needs, there are lines on the screen.
Somebody is scribbling, I think so.
Yeah. So why nurses need to be, need to be politically active? Why we have to be active? So we are empowered, we have knowledge, we have power, we have voice. we want to show something different. So politicals can change the work to do, and we can represent the interest of nursing profession, and we can advocate to our patients. So can you, next slide, please. So why nurses needs to be politically active? Like according to Dr. Jennifer Jackson, she is PhD RN, and it's a great thing to be able to participate in general elections. And there are fragile democracies around the world where people are fighting to have political rights. So she believed that voting and political engagement do make difference. See, when it came, I mean, especially we medical people, nursing, paramedical, medical, all together, we are always worried about our work, our patient care, our thing. We don't mind that. We think that the political thing is activity is entirely, it is not our activity. We should not go for it. So we have to come forward. We have to think that it is also good. We have to elect. See, political people, ministers are elected people. When we vote, only we can elect a correct person. If we are not rendering our votes, how we will get the people? So from the starting, we should have a responsibility that we have to vote for a correct person. When we vote for the correct person, we can get our things done. In the same way, we should also have an interest to go move forward. So she is telling that participation in elections is good. She is a nurse and she is a journalist also. So she is telling that when we believe that voting and political engagement, when we do nurses, automatically we can do some difference. Next slide, please. So if we look to the great meaning, like a Greek meaning of democracy, demos refers to the people, while cracy is government, meaning government of the people. When we talk about democracy, it is talking that government of the people. So our political opportunities such as voting give each person a voice in what happens in our system. So when we vote, we can elect the people, the correct people who can help us. And whether you are a male or female, rich, poor, rural or urban, you have an equal vote. And you know how in your country or wherever we, throughout the world, I think everybody has, wherever they follow the democracy, every individual has a right to vote. So when we are voting, we are selecting the people. So when we are electing the correct person, people, we are looking for the people, automatically we also think at one place that why can't I be in that place? And why our people, our nursing fraternity has to come forward to vote when, no, for all the nurses. Next slide. Next slide. So it's a great to encourage general political participation. And there are lots of reasons that nurses can benefit from voting and being politically active. So political activity is as old as nursing, in the nursing profession, like Florence Nightingale developed the world's first graphs and showed them to British Parliament, convincing politicians to continue funding her work in Crimea. So there is a legacy in healthcare that is the result of political activity, and nurses can continue their efforts today. So Florence Nightingale, we feel that she is the founder of nursing. When she has started this political activism, why can't we continue now? Why can't we nurses take up now? So that is what I feel. Next slide. Next slide, please. So there are three reasons why nurses needs to be politically active. Politics can change the work we do. Political factors can have a substantial impact on what type of work we do as nurses because of the impacts on the society. And like prime example, one of the example like testing and driving. So there are laws are enacted to decrease distracted driving and There have been fewer car accidents as a result of it. And this means that the few trauma codes or fewer ICU admissions and fewer fatalities. So when we know, we nurses, if we go for the politics, when we know that this is the rule that we should not, like not texting and driving or not talking in the phone and driving like that, we can minimize the cases, accidents. We, by that, what is happening? We, if accidents are minimized, automatically patients flow in the hospitals will be minimized. So laws and political decisions impact care we need to provide as a nurse. As a nurse, we can ask ourselves, who is coming, I mean, who is going outdoors, and what could be done to address these preventable illness and injuries. So there are some situations where we can take a political step and we can move forward and talk to the people and make a change in the politics. Next slide, please. So we can represent the interest of our nursing professions. See, what is our nursing, what we learn, what we are doing. Sometimes, most of the time, like we are not going to do those things in the situations. Maybe because of there is no patient nurse ratio, maybe not maintaining, or maybe our needs are not seen by the people. Maybe there is no wages and all. So that representation, like a unit, like for example, TNA went to Supreme Court to have a equal pay for all the nurses. And we got a, there is a result, and they said that yes, we can go for it. So this is what, when we nurses, we have to come forward. We should not feel that it's something wrong. If I go for a like a court, maybe people may think that there is something, I am doing some mistake like that. No, we have to represent the interest of the profession. Why TNA has to take up that equal pay for the nurses? Because they are worried about the nurses' interest. I mean, they thought that economically our nurses has to be good when compared with all the people, professions, professionals, because we nurses are paid less. So they, if we are politically active, we can represent our nursing profession, the interest of our profession to the higher ups. And it will be easy for us to bring the things forward. Next slide, please. So we can advocate for our patients. So for me, the most important reason to be politically active is because politics means for nurses to advocate for the patient. Advocacy is very important for nurses because social justice is a core value of nursing profession. When we work in a clinical settings, we can help one patient at a time. And this work is central to our profession. But when we vote or when we sign a petition, when we participate in political events, when we can make like a politically, when we are active, we can make one a particular, like a one GO can be brought out. By that GO, almost all the people or the same professions or the patients, whoever it is, they will be benefited. So we can advocate for our patients. At the same time, we can also help our profession. Next slide, please. So Eddie Bernice Johnson, she is one of the, when I looked into the things like, when I had taken up, like how many nurses are there? There are, like how in Sweden, like what Evelyn madam said, there are 13 members. In US, everywhere nurses are there in the parliament. They're talking, they're taking to the health sector has been handled by them. The nurses are there. She is Johnson was the first registered nurse elected to Congress, and she is taking care of the health sector, administration of hospitals. So when they are doing, why can't we take up the nurses in India? Next slide, please. So President Obama nominated Merlin Tanvi. She is a hospital administrator master's. She has done her master's in hospital administration, BSN, and she is a registered nurse. So when he recommended her, she came to the parliament and she has taken up as an administrator for centers for medical care and medical aid services. So, and she has done so many health coverages, like, she started her long career in healthcare and policy as a nurse, and she has come to this level. So I think we are not somewhere leftover people. We can do things. We can do the miracles in our profession. Next slide. And she is also one of the former, recommended or appointed by President Obama, Mary Wakefield. She is a PhD RN as Administrator of Health Resources and Service Administration. And she started her career as a nurse in North Dakota, which is a passion for rural health. And she has taken up all the problems of health, and she was providing healthcare for the vulnerable population. And she was addressing the shortages facing all across the her country. See, we are, wherever we go, we are seeing to the shortages of nurses. So if we are coming forward in the political system, I think we can solve these problems. Next slide, please. So he is also one of the Green Party candidate, Darren Parkson. He is also a learning disability nurse. And with the seat, he was in Whitehall holding, and he was telling to Nursing Times that the work that he is required to do as an MP, that is already similar to the nursing job. And he noted that communication is very key skill, which is most of the time we nurses are doing. So that is what transferable for him to the politics. And he said that listening is crucial. So through communication skills, what we were taught in our nursing, that is helping them to be to manage their listening skills and communication skills in the politics, and by that they are coming forward. Next slide. And he is telling that most of the nurses, they follow code of conduct that is required, which is open to us, and everybody, we are honest, trustworthy. And he believed that if we apply those things in our political position, because we nurses always think about our honesty, trustworthy, we should follow the ethics, this and that. If we are sitting in the parliament, I think we can do something miracle, some change in the system, because we will not go in a wrong direction. We will be going in the correct, because we were learning those skills in our during our training period, during the nursing. We know how to listen to the people. We will be giving time for the people to get their experience, and whatever whatever we do, that will be trustworthy. People will think that yes, she is a nurse, she has this, she follows the code of conduct, she follows the ethics, and she is a trustworthy. So I think that is better, to come out in the system. Next slide.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. You have 2 minutes more, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah. So she is another person who is going to tell about her experience. She is also Miss Keen. She told that when she entered the parliament, people were telling, they were looking at her, it seems like, why nursing people came to the parliament, something like that. Next slide. So she was, when she saw that attitude, like why nurses are, they are challenging and coming forward. So they feel that, okay, they are good listeners and problem solving. So that is the more, and they are approachable and they are multi-skilled. Maybe that is why they are coming forward. So in the parliament, they thought that this is good. The nurses have come forward and they have changed their attitude, it seems. So that is really good. So I feel that we nurses, next slide. So we have to get involved in politics. We have to start in our work. How to get involved in politics means we have to start from our workplace or community and join our professional associations. Most of the people tell what TNA will do, why we have to join in TNA. If you join in TNA, we know the latest things, what is happening throughout the world, and get to know your elected officials. We have to know who are elected, by to whom we have voted, who are the people, and we have to share our advocacy in social media. We have to always be in touch with the people, and we have to write our experience as a nurse, and we have to volunteer to campaign. We have to come forward. Next slide, please. Next slide. So we nurses can do actively participate in nursing unions, associations, encourage friends to vote, talk about politics with co-workers, friends, neighbors, encourage them to involve directly or indirectly. Next slide. So there are many ways how we can be active. We can vote. We have to utilize our voting. We have encouraged our friends. We and call or email. You have to tell them that I have an interest. Please support me. Talk to the politicians and co-workers, friends, neighbors, and actively participate in nursing unions, associations, and we have to tell about ourselves. Next slide. I think I'm finishing almost. So there are communication skills which will make us successful politically. Clarity should be there in our speech. Completeness should be there. Conscience, the topic, what you are talking about, why you have come, what is your representation, that is more important. And there is courtesy is more important, and concreteness, correctness, and consideration. So now I think, can you pass these slides, Ma? Next slides. Please move. So nurses hold a level of stature that is highly respected and trusted. So they are viewed as professionals who truly are interested in the welfare of others. So the role of nurses in health promotion is recognized by national, international, and state organizations. So this type of empowerment broadens nursing political focus and increases respect for the profession on all political levels. Next slide. Next slide. So however, nurses need support in order to affect change, and that support starts at home. Families and friends of nurses needs to encourage political activism, and nursing schools need to include healthcare policy education as part of the curriculum, as well as encourage some level of political involvement from nursing students. Furthermore, the faculty of nursing schools should also participate in policy changes, thereby acting as role models for their students. Finally, employers need to provide staff nurses with the time, resources, and opportunities to influence local, state, and federal policy. After all, healthcare legislation ultimately affects all of us. So we have to, the change has to come from us, and our people, our family members, our friends has to accept. They have to support us. They have to encourage us. Then our nursing schools, we have to train the people. That is the reason we are having SNAs. That is the reason SNA unit in the system. That is the reason we are conducting elections for SNA body in the college level itself. So that they know how to be the leaders. So they are the future leaders who are coming out from the colleges and schools. So we have to encourage the students. If somebody coming forward, we should not discourage them. We have to encourage them, but in a correct way. Next slide. Next slide, please. I think politics becoming as an essential activity in the nursing profession in affecting policy changes, healthcare planning, and policy making at a local, state, and national level to protect the future of nursing. Empowerment is the ability and willingness to affect the behavior of others to bring about change. And nurses are able to exercise power in politics to the benefit of the community if and when they energize and articulate collectively. So time has come to include politics as an elective subject in nursing curriculum. Student nurses should be prepared to take responsibility for shaping the future of nursing as profession and having an active role in the formulation of healthcare policy. Next slide. So when US, UK and in other countries, nurses actively participating in politics, I feel now it is our turn. We Indian nurses also has to come forward. We have to take up. So we have to take up the roles like MLA, MP, MLC. See, there is a MLC category, member of Legislative Council. For teachers, there are separately they have given. So as Evelyn Madam said, we have to fight for one seat for nurses. And when there is a opening for this, every nurse has to come forward. See, when I contested as an MLC, I truly speak, when people said, okay, ma'am, we do, but they don't have the voting authority because they have given a registration time. When there is a opening, we all nurses has to come forward and we have to do the registrations. We have to make ourselves available to go and vote. So that is more important. So we have to encourage the people who are coming forward, who really have interest in politics. Then we can see a miracle of winning and make difference in the healthcare system. So that is what the big picture, what I want. What I am seeing is in future, in India, we have everywhere, maybe in state level, in national level, we will have the people, nursing personnel sitting in the assembly and parliament and solving our own nursing problems. Next slide. So I think once again, I thank the team of Delhi TNA and National TNA for giving me this opportunity to be the speaker for today's session. So I think we all nurses has to come forward and take the power, and we have to see that we all are politically active and do some difference in the system, nursing system. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajeshwari ma'am. I'm Dolma here from Delhi TNI. A very important topic for nurses. Ma'am has also highlighted why, the common myth that nurses has a belief that politics conflicts with our image as a nurse. I was also among them during my initial, tenure of my nursing profession. Now, 2 decades into the nursing profession, I understood the myth, and I'll request everyone today. We have around 370 participants here. You all are lucky, those especially those who are in the initial, professional career. You are very lucky that you get exposed to this kind of knowledge from right now, exposure from right now. So we all should, as ma'am has time and again said in whole through the session, that we should be politically active. And why so also ma'am has very nicely explained. And ma'am also told us about the Florence Nightingale's political activism, which influenced the British Parliament. And next, ma'am has also explained why nurses need to be politically active, how we can change the work we do, and then advocate for the patients. Very important point of nursing, profession. So we can empower our nurses, and we can change our work if we are actively, politically active, and also we can advocate for our patients. And later on, ma'am has highlighted many nurse politicians, how they are contributing to their country. And at the end of our session, ma'am has very in detail explained how to get involved in politics. So this is a very comprehensive presentation, ma'am. Thank you so much for empowering us with all this, exposure. And we will be taking the questions later on. So, ma'am, I'll request you to be here till the next next speaker finishes. Then we'll take the question and answer session.
Sure.
So now the screen is, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now I hand over the screen to Bindu, ma'am, for introducing the next speaker.
Mr. Prashant, can you just show the slide of the next speaker?
Yes.
So after this interesting session on the politics in nursing, we have yet another interesting session to be taken by a versatile speaker, Ms. Beena Malhotra, and the Delhi State Branch is really proud to introduce the speaker, Ms. Beena Malhotra. She's a senior nursing officer in the neurosurgery or operation theatre of GP Pant Hospital, New Delhi. And she carries over 30 years of experience in various capacities. She has worked in the administrative acumen as well as in the clinical practice, core clinical practice. She has been, the next slide, please. She has been an expert and resource person in national forums, organized and conducted national and state level conferences and workshops, undertaken various research work especially in the area of infection control. She has published research papers in national index journals, as well as presented papers in national as well as international forums. She's been a program coordinator and local organizing secretary for the SINCON 2007 in Agra. And she's a recipient of, the next slides, please. She has been a recipient of various awards and honors, especially the prestigious Florence Nightingale Award in 2019. She has received various fellowship like the Japan Fellowship, Canada Fellowship, numerous best paper and poster awards in conferences, as well as the oration awarded by the National Body of Neuro Nurses. In her profile, I've seen that she has been instrumental in bringing the nurses under the banner of Delhi Neurological Association, and she has organized various workshops under this umbrella. Over to you, ma'am. We are really proud to have you to take over this session. Madam Beena, please.
Slides.
Would you be sharing your screen here?
Yeah, ma'am. Just wait. I'm sharing the slide.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, it's visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Beena Malhotra from GP Pant Hospital, and namaste. Good morning to all of you. It's my great honor for giving opportunity for this platform, and I am very, very thankful to whole TNI team, entire team, and especially Dr. Gopi Chandran. Now I am delivering a talk on strategies for strengthening clinical services. So the outset, I would like to clarify the time. Only clinical nurse who has no experience in formulating and strategies. It is the job of the administration. It is a job of people who are in administrations like IAS officers or secretaries and top ranked government officials, who will be more important and such a wide topic that I will not be able to even cover all aspects related. But given the time which has been located to me, I will touch some aspects of this topic, short and whatever. I'm going to speak largely because of my inputs, which are taken from the Google and other internet sources, and some of which could be a part of my experience over the last more than 3 decades. And nurses have widened their scope of their work. They are still concerned with regards to development of nursing workforce, selection and recruitment, placement as per specialization, pre-service and service training, and human resources issues for their career growth. And evolution of nursing in India, these traditional 17th centuries. Let me talk to you through the evolution. Traditionally, the nursing of India started from the 17th century, and subsequently Portuguese are giving credit by being in the nursing in form of military nursing, Later on in 1964, East India Company started a hospital for soldiers, Fort St. George in Chennai. And concept of the proper nurse, again, Indian military was started a hospital for soldiers, which started the proper nursing system in India, which has evolved over from the traditional dye systems. And in 1797, is a lying, many states have started the hospitals, like in Calcutta, Nayur, Mumbai, and Delhi, Amritsar, Ludhiana, Punjab, Maharashtra, and also other states. Florence Nightingale is just wait. Florence Nightingale to have a great influence is starting in the 1861, and St. Stephen Hospital at Delhi was the first to begin start the training for nurses in 1867. And the first 4 years basic BSc program was established in 1946 at Rajkumari Amrit College of Nursing in Delhi. And almost simultaneously, CMC College of Nursing in Vellore. In 1960, Masters was MSc Nursing also established in Rajkumari Amritkar College from Delhi. And 1951 is a 2-year A&M courses was established in St. Mary Hospital at Punjab. And you will notice that when India became an independence, that is in 1947, nurses are populations of 400 millions. And the development of various committees started by the government side, such as the Bohra Committee, Shetty Committee, Mudliar, Kartar Singh Committee, Srivastava Committee, and which was approximately the nursing development of the various through these committees. And alongside the 5-year plan also have brought about the transitions in the status of nursing and midwifery. Currently, WHO statistics, we all have seen the crisis of the bed, which happened during a pandemic in recent time. And according to this, averagely is a 1:1,000 and 1.7 nurses, and globally is a 2.5 upon 1,000 available per 1,000 population. The ratio of hospital beds of population in 0.98 1,000 against the global average of 3.5 bed upon 1,000 population. These statistics are provided by the World Health Organization, and India stands at 67th rank against 133 developing countries with regards to number of doctors, and 75th rank with respect to number of nurses among the 133 developing countries. And the physician nurses ratio is not satisfactory. The international ratio is a 1:3, whereas the India is having a 1:1. The country needs a 2.4 million nurses. So the number of registration nurses and midwife in India, 6.7 lakh in 1998, and has reached 17 lakh 91,000 in the 98. Sorry, in 2014. And in 2021 is approximately 30 lakh or maybe around the 30 lakh according to internet sources. And now in addition to one has to look for what are the various ways of educational nursing program in India, like auxiliary nurse midwifery, general nursing and midwifery, BSc nursing, MSc nursing, MPhil, and PhD nursing. And this chart is also shows recent grad chart, which shows the healthcare distributions of various kind of healthcare of peoples. Approximately 2 and healthcare services like doctors, homeopathy and Unani, Ayurvedic, and dentist, etc. And which is for much less than the actual required. So this chart shows is a very less numbers of nurses and doctors in India. And now my area is concerned to spend the time on this area. I have spent almost my entire life working as a neuro nurse. Will be focusing talk for based upon what is the area in which there is need for the nurses in neurosciences. Now there is an emerging need of healthcare services delivering neurosciences. And there is an emerging need to have for neurosciences care in India in field like head injury and roadside accidents and strokes and brain tumors, pediatric neurosciences, and epilepsy. And you have emulations in mental health, and there is a extreme shortage of nurses in these areas. When we see any statistics, I have tried to express over here. And now this is the required for the educational system and infrastructure development as well as resources. So these are the manpower and the health delivery institutional hospitals, infrastructures, and educational centers. And so statistic shows in Indian populations around 13 millions, and neurosurgeons are the how much neurosurgeons in India, and so rank is in all over in India. We have a 103 rank, and only 3,500 neurosurgeons in India. This data is around 2018, and rank 1 is Japan. Is a 7,000 approximately neurosurgeon, and rank 2 is Azerbaijan, is a 52 neurosurgeon according to populations. And along the neurologist is approximately is a 400, allied 100 some paramedicals concerned with the neurosciences. And hardly neuro nurses is not more than 1,000, is less than thousands. And now see what is happening in terms of the education of the nursing in India. In September 2021, data shows that we have approximately 3,600 colleges and approximately 10,000 BSc nursing and 13,000 MSc nursing seats. And It is 1 lakh endorsing the students per year. Approximately the government sectors have a 74 and private have a 627. And seats are at the 1,597 and private institutions have a 12,374. So total seats are the 13,971. And we will be surprised that we have in India approximately 8 institutions which are impacting the PhD courses. We have 9 MSc Neurosciences colleges in India, and they start producing about the 20-25 MSc Neuro nurses in India, which is minimized numbers. And I have been able to point out there is an extreme shortage of having qualified Europe nurses in India. And this is the chart we are showing in there is only neurosciences centers in India, and as a specialized delivering MSc masters in all over India. And now I'm delivering the training for neuro nurses, call of an hour. Is advance in neurosciences within subspecialty. And now I said previously in the area, when need of neuropsycho development of neuro nurse in India, there is a super subspecialty like cranial, spinal, and pediatric, endovascular, and functional, where we need a specialized training for the nurses. Nurses is an integral part for the patient care, and however adequate numbers of neuro nurses in the country. And nurses are integral part of the care, patient care, so that there should be a separate training. And we look for the national health policies, which come in 2002, emphasizes the need to prepare nurses to function in super specialty or sub-super specialty. And the Nursing Council of India also emphasized to prepare postgraduate program to improve upon quality of treatment. And despite of all these guidelines, no focus attention to train nurses in subspecialty and super specialty, particularly in neurosciences. And one of the other hand, we are still following the guidelines and methods of training for nurses laid down in 1960s. And there is no concept of neuro nurses training in India. Only is a very few institution, I already told you, and no law, no statute, no role of neuro nurse in health planning, no license, especially for the limited certificate courses or specialized field, and very few institution also. So specialized centers in India is Vellore, Suchitra, AIIMS, NIMHANS, or I think so PGI Chandigarh also for neurosciences. And we have various areas in which nurses are required, like gastrointestinal surgeries, cardiothoracic vascular surgery, general nursing, and then etc. In India, the training is actually focused to make jack of all traders and masters of none. That is, the nurses has to go from the theater to another theater. Sometimes some places they are distributing from one end to another end. So they will be no longer and getting trained as specialized nurse. And now, what is the definitions of the neurosciences of the nursing? So according to WAB 2000, the neurosciences nurses, so there's a concept of neuro nurse which has going back into 2000. The American Association of the Nurses exists neurosciences advanced practice nurse, so the registered nurse who has completed graduate degree in nursing courses or specialized diploma in neurosciences and has direct or indirect clinical practices, clients with biopsychosocial alteration as a result of nervous system dysfunction. And the clinical nurses specialist. And now, which are the nurses who can work as after post-graduation and postdoctoral level? They will have training in addition to clinical work. They will help to do the research work, and they can do also the coaching, consultancy also. And they have leadership qualities. So, and they collaborate with the government decisions making. We have to evolve the term of clinical nurses specialist in India and also in decision making. Already Rajeshwari madam told us very in detail how to nurses are the leadership quality and involved in the politics area. And she also explained it, how can we implemented our new policies for improvement of nursing nursing programs.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. 3 more minutes.
And resulting in major changes in health policies. For example, national stroke health policies, and the nurses are able to guide the best practices for blood pressure control. And is also where they guide decision make to evolve with these policies. And advanced practice nurse in neurosciences. Right now, we have understand currently advanced practice nurse. They should be able to professionally various aspects of the neural sensors like lumbar puncture, ventricular tap, intracranial pressure monitoring, interactions, programming of different type of gadgets of neurological devices. And in some institutions have also done these type of practices, but it's very rare. They can practice independently without physician involvement and supervision. So, and these are the standards for the standards where the assessment advanced practice nurse for the advanced practice nurse, assessment of neurological dysfunctions and diagnosis, outcome identifications, planning, implementation, evaluation. And the objectives of have wide knowledge of disease spectrum in neurosciences, to have a recent knowledge of current technologies in treatment of neurological disorders, enhance quality care to improve access to care, and generate importance of nursing profession as super specialty field. And the advantages is the ability to perform clinical specific tasks in multifaceted process and collaborate and agreement with the physician and institution or state for their practices. And better perks also for the nurses. And what are we doing? Now these, what are we doing? Or we are all aware of these things. And point to pointer, need to have a separate courses and training for neurosciences nursing in India and different more setup of the institution for the especially for neurosciences. And my suggestions to how to achieve who, where, and how. So who will be achieved that the most of the postgraduate or postdoctoral interested, especially interested in the neurosciences field, and at least people are working in the neurosciences field is have a minimum 1 year courses or 2 year diploma through the registered by the Nurses Council of India, Nursing Council of India, and certificate courses also. And where it can be done in the center in India, which has enough clinical material and including in neurological department, neurosurgery, major surgeries, and all type of procedures done in institutions, and was in radiological examinations like a CT scan, MRI, ultrasonography, and DM and MCH courses or paramedical neuro courses also. And this one such training shall be clarified by the Nursing Council or entrance exam by the both them, Nursing Council of India or the Society of Indian Neuro Sciences of Nursing. And exam, or maybe the exams for in each level have an entrance exam or and other requisitions, guidelines, protocols, evaluation system should be there periodically. Some protocols and system change to time. And now I'm conclude my topic at most need for redefining the process of training of neuro nurses in India, which should match with any international standards or our own standards. And that will be improve not only the patient care, but will also enhance the glory of nursing profession and our confidence in our own profession. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bina. So Madam has initially given an overview of the current nursing scenario. Then she narrowed down her session on clinical services in how to strengthen the clinical services in neurosciences. Having a rich experience in neurosciences, she's a very apt person to be giving us a blueprint of how neuronursing should, take a path ahead. So Madam initially has told about the training requirement for super subspecialty neuronursing, then also highlighted the national health policy for special training of nurses having the guideline, but then it's not actually happening, and very limited training for this specialty is there on ground. So ma'am has also given us what are the functions of neuronurses in clinical services, how can we contribute in a better clinical services, and the standards in neuronurses, advanced practice nurses. And she concluded her session with points to ponder what we must do and included who, where, and how of the way forward for neuronurses. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this explicit presentation. Now I'll request all the participants to put up your questions in the chat box. So let me see if we have any question. We have question from Nilima Raj. She is from College of Nursing, AIMS, New Delhi. Nilima's question is for Madam Rajeshwari, I think. So Nilima is asking, Madam, when a nursing professional who is in government service would like to get elected for an election, he or she has to resign from a job. This might be a hindrance in coming forward to be politically active. What can be done to encourage more active participation of nurses in politics? She again writes, continue writing. Nurses can be best leaders as we are the ones who know the ground realities of our patients, community, and our nursing community too. So we should come forward without any hesitation. So our actual question is, how can we be active being in a government service? Rajeshwari ma'am.
Yeah. See, we can be active. See, there is no need for us to resign from the job. We can be active. When time comes that we are elected, maybe that is the time, like even there also we will be getting salary. Now MLAs, MPs, they're all paid. So even we will also get the salary. So we always think, if I leave the job, what is my economic support? Who is going to support me? This is what we nurses will think. And most of the time we won't come forward only thinking about our salary. I think sometimes we have to take risk. That is the reason our family members has to help us. So when we have that thought of going into the politics and we are moving forward and we have to go with the associations, maybe in future we can ask like how the political people, if we are active, maybe people they may come forward and take us to their parties, and all the expenses can be paid by them. So that if that is the thing, we will not be thinking about the money, financial support. I think the first thing is we will be informing to the government that I am going to contest, and through the process, because it is a political, we are in democratic country, we have every right to do whatever we want. Only the thing the people has to come to know, and it is not that every time we will leave our patient work and go here and there for the political. So we have to use our own time for motivating the people. We should not leave the patients and leave the system like that and go for our work. We have to continue. When the time comes, I think we have to stand for it. I think
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
answered.
Election is a long way to go, but
Yes.
before that, there are so many small steps we can
Yes.
take
Yes.
to be politically active. So at
Yes.
least we can contribute there. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, it's rightly
Yeah.
said. Thank you, ma'am, for the answer.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, one question is there, like somebody is asking what are the benefits of TNI and what is the cost to be the member. So the cost is at the 3,600 rupees and it is lifetime. And what is the need? Like there are n number of benefits, and what you are today as a nurse, this is just because of TNI, because they have made the plan course and we have done the education and everything is because of that. And there are many benefits. We can just log into the website. We can just help you to become the member also. So you can just contact us in the website. We can see our names and numbers. If you're from Delhi, if you're from other state, still we can help you out.
So if anyone doesn't know the website, then I have just put up here www.tnaionline.org, which I have put up it in the chat box. So you can just log in there and see, go through the website and see everything is there, very clear cut, and membership also is given there. All the instructions are given there. So you can go and visit the website, tnaionline.org.
Yeah, and if they're the students,
think
there are
it-
student scheme also. You can contact your college. There are new scheme which will help you to become the TNI member. Some people have logged in through their mobiles. They have not used their name. So you won't be getting the certificates. I can see Redmi. They are writing thank you also, but you won't get the certificates if you don't rename it.
So I think there is no questions now. So can we wrap up? Shani, over to you.
Yeah, you can just say the vote of thanks to everyone and then you can just close the meeting.
Okay. So since we don't have any other questions, we'll be wrapping up the session here. So thank you so much to both the speakers, Madam Dr. Rajeshwari, as well as Ms. Beena Malhotra, for taking up your time, precious time, and empowering other nurses. Thank you so much, both of you. And then I thank the TNA headquarter team for always supporting us and collaborating with us in every endeavor of us. And I also thank all the team members of TNAI Delhi branch. And last but not the least, all the participants. We have a huge today. We have at the end of this session, we have 315 participants. Thank you so much for taking out considering this session is important and being here for 1 hour. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a
Yeah.
nice day.
Thank you, Dalma. You